Virgo, hello. Welcome to your reading. I've laid the cards already. A slightly new location. There's a lovely big bench here. I might even do some that are just face down so you can just see the cards while I'm here. I'm experimenting so you don't have to see my ugly mug, and then you can see just what I'm doing. But anyway, there's a lovely big green bench, and I've got a nice seat, and you've got a different view from behind you. So the light is fading though, so I must keep going. I've laid your cards, and it just to decide whether you want to stick around or not. This is to do with, we've got two amazing aces. It's to do with a new start, and I think it's to do with a new start in health. There's a lot of fresh energy, and energy, it feels like there's a rebirth, kicking away from some sort of addictions, loss of power. And at the basis of the reading, we have this wonderful Six of Wands. So it feels as if you're being recognised for some sort of amazing new start. If that sounds good to you, stick around. There's already some mosquitoes around, would you believe it? So I hope this is recording properly. So let's just dive in. You internally, full of passion with this Ace of Wands. Look at that, that's wonderful. Feeling as if you've got this amazing new idea. I like how cartoon-like this hand is. It's a bit different from the other hands. It feels like a sort of, cartoony, slightly playful. It's the way it's turning up to me today, and all those white, like starburst around it. It feels very energized, really fun, quite young. So there's a kind of great sense of internally of vavavum. I like that white castle. It's curious because there's another ace coming up, spoiler alert, which has a naturalistic colour hand, and this is interesting. It's so sort of part of the celestial. It's as if whatever this new idea is, it really feels as if it's coming from out of the blue. It feels very ethereal wherever the idea came from. It's part of that cloud. It's from the divine in a way. So that's amazing how this makes you act on the outside like the Fool. I'm so glad he came up because I had a little nap this afternoon, and just before I was watching this guy, I'll put in a link if he's got a YouTube channel. I was watching this guy who did a 3-part thing. He does really good little things on Instagram, but I'm sure he does YouTube as well, on art, and he was talking about the idea of the jester or the joker, which I guess relates so heavily to this Fool energy, particularly when you look at the original cards from the sort of 1400s, 1500s in Italy. It would have been the idea more of a jester rather than the Fool. And the jester's a really interesting character because I fell asleep watching it because it was buffering, and boom, I went out. I had my little siesta. But it's very interesting, isn't it? Because as the genesis of this energy, I really wanted to talk about it and think about it, because the jester is much less innocent than this is that we're led to think of the Fool, because he actually speaks truth to power, and he's quite subversive, and he has the protection of the guise of comedy and being a bit of an idiot, but he says the things that maybe nobody else can say, and he's able to take on the king and the nobility and be subversive and silly, all under the guise of being a bit of an idiot, kind of that sort of thing. So this is really interesting that it's feeding into this. I'm not saying you're a bit of an idiot, but it's interesting he's coming up. And I wonder whether this kind of passionate new start makes you feel really excited and like you want to rush off and start something new. But because I'd just seen that, I wonder whether there is an element of subterfuge in the best way. Maybe you are speaking truth to power somehow. So maybe you're being quite subversive, but keep flying under the radar because you are doing it in this kind of jokey, jester-like way. Maybe there is an element of what's going on, because this feels quite cartoony. I see why now it's appearing to me like a comedy almost, like a silly comedy cartoon. And he's making me think of the jester and that the original kind of meaning of this energy, which is innocent and funny and clown-like, but manages to get a lot of truth in. Yeah, that's interesting. So maybe you're doing a bit of that with this new start, with this passionate new start. Maybe you're bringing in some of that slightly subversive energy. I hope so. That sounds fun. And it's good. Shake it all up. Tell the truth. The basis of the reading, this idea that you're being recognized with the Six of Wands. So something that you're doing, I mean, again, brings to mind the idea of a court, doesn't it? Maybe you're a comedian. Maybe you're on Instagram or socials or YouTube doing some sort of comedy, and you're being recognized for it, and it's a bit subversive. That could be the truth for somebody, but it also feels as if you're in a system with friends or work or whatever, your sort of genius, this beginning, this genius is going to be recognized. This new start, whatever it represents, is going to be recognized somehow by your community, which I think is really exciting. Yeah, I'm seeing her at the back with the blonde curly hair. She looks like a big supporter. And the sly little eye of the horse. And his sort of furrowed brow. Look at how serious he is. So there's a seriousness underpinning this kind of exuberant new start. And you will be recognised. In the recent past, there's the confusion of the moon, the deep emotion of the moon, and then the idea of the beautiful nine of pentacles. I guess some sort of confusion about how to become independent, realised, abundant. So something murky that's sort of pulling you away from that state, maybe. The moon is rich, fertile territory. I'm seeing the eyelashes on the face of the moon. Closed eyes. Oh, not this again. Oh, no. Here we go. And you can hear the dogs barking in the background. We've got a dog and a fox here, and the crayfish calling out. And this path is very illuminated. So, trying to get to her, who is this amazing, she's resplendent in her garden, she's independent, she doesn't need anything from anyone, she's honed her skill, and she's got this beautiful falcon here that she's tamed, who's her intuition, trying to get to that along this path to this. And there might have been quite a lot of confusion in the past. The hood on the falcon, using your intuition, the trellis behind that holds up all these beautiful grapes. Yeah, so that's the past. And then this one very interesting bunch of cards here is the potential outcome. I love this. So we've got the Queen of Wands, the Devil, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Death card. So using your inner witchy, the black cat indicating intuition, her open leg indicating sort of a bit rule breaky, very independent. She's not looking at us, but she's a positive manifester and she's got a lot of witchy power. Using that power to break the bonds of the devil. Maybe this was where you were with the moon, to break the bonds of the devil. Whatever this addiction or whatever you were bound to that wasn't very healthy, in order to get you back into some sort of really beautiful relationship to your generational wealth, to the wealth and wisdom of your community, to your heritage, to your clan, and then this beautiful rebirth. So it's big energy. It's really big energy. Let's see if anything pops out on any of these cards. I love my great big glasses. They leave me slightly blinded afterwards. So the eyes and the little horns of the characters who are bound to the devil, they're really speaking to me. So it feels as if you were bound to someone or something that you knew quite well. They look like brother and sister almost. The hair is the same. Devil always looks absolutely terrified and miserable, and his torch is facing down, as if he's sort of slightly beaten by the whole thing. Even though he's got fire, he's not able to hold it up like she's holding hers up. Ten of Pentacles, yeah, it's just a lovely scene. I like her face. She looks very sympathetic in the background with the hair and the flowers. Yeah, so that's the little story, a rebirth indicating, looking at the nostrils of the horse on this one, the rebirth of the sun coming up between those pillars now. Those are the pillars that we saw here in the recent past, aren't they? So there is a sense in which you've crawled out, you've learnt your lessons, you've got out with this lovely new start of the murk, and you are now 9 to 10, 9 of Pentacles, because you were trying to get to her. You are now in the 10, which is even better. You know, you're with community. And there is this total rebirth in between those pillars. So we're at it. You're using your intuition to get that and to unbind yourself from some sort of addiction or situation that you weren't liking. And now, that's the dinner bell for next door. They're calling everyone in from the fields. And now we've got the lovers coming up in the near future. So a much happier union, a choice that you've been offered by this wonderful angel that you're taking that is beautiful. The sun is now fully up in the sky and these two are very happy. The same, it's interesting, the same sort of mountains, these are obviously pyramids behind the Queen of Wands. Here we have this kind of mountain here, that's interesting. It's like a kind of more natural version of that. So we're in her territory still, I think. What can I see? I love the colour of the feathers on the angel. They're so beautiful. Oh, I watched another really interesting little video about colours. So in language, first we use the words for black and white, then for red, then for yellow and green, and it was really quite late that blue came into the vocabulary. The Egyptians were first to use the word blue, and there's some evidence to say that without a word for it, people perceived blue as green. So Homer didn't use the word blue, for instance. He would use, in his descriptions, other descriptors of the sea and the sky, but not blue. Isn't that interesting? So those colours, I don't know, they're standing out. And of course there is this blue behind them. Something to do with your perceptions changing like that. The ability to, once you've named it, you can experience it more. And I feel like there's something about that with the colours of it's like you're now perceiving this amazing angelic help. You've no longer got him glowering over the top of you, the old bloody devil, like looking miserable. You've now got this lovely blessing, this choice coming to you with all these colours and the sun risen. And he's very pixie-like. He really isn't an angel to me. He's like some sort of elemental. Maybe that's what angels are, who knows. But, head up, head back, this beautiful sunny disposition. So in the near future, you're really starting to get into your stride, and there's this choice, and I think you're going to take it. And whatever you're now in partnership with, I think you're really happy. Your attitude with the Five of Swords is either you're trying to steal something and get a fast one. The only reason I'm saying that is because we had that kind of court jester energy turning up through the Fool. So maybe you are getting some message through in a kind of slightly roundabout way, like the jester would do, of truth to power, of subversive truth that you can hide behind. I was just joking. Maybe that is what this represents. Sort of pulling a fast one on the powers that be. It's just a stage. We've got those beautiful tents behind, and these people are really annoyed. They realise you've got half their swords, that you've making off with something. Or you're very interested in not losing your power, which could also be a really legitimate reason, reading of that. So trying to hold on to this newfound amazing power coming out of this murky thing. In your environment, the Two of Wands, a feeling that there's a scanning of the horizon. Alexander looking over the horizon with his globe in his hand. Are you looking for new territory? Are those people around you in your home looking, maybe it's a time when everyone's moving. There's a lot of shifting at home or at work. People looking for new horizons somehow. That's not bad when we see you with such expansive, flying, optimistic energy. I suppose it's you probably also thinking about changing something about your environment, and you've not quite found which way you want to do it yet, but you're on your move, you're on the look, and you will be on the move. Let's see if anything stands out with him and actually the Seven of Swords. Well, the pink little house there, maybe you found a pink house that you rather like. I like that pink house. And also the windy, windy path that's a bit like the path in the moon. moon, well, because the path was really standing out. So maybe now you know where you want to go a bit more. You're on that path. And the blue sea. So that's standing out there. And in your attitude, just the big teeth and the Cossack hat. How all those tents are open somehow, that people left. It's about leaving yourself a bit undefended, or other people have left themselves open to your jokes, possibly. Here, in your hopes and fears, we have the Knight of Cups. You want to offer whatever it is you've learnt, make actions towards offering this to your wider community. Blue everywhere here. So it's as if you're now in this amazing new colourful environment, that you've discovered something new. It's like your umwelt has switched, or your paradigm has switched, and you're suddenly really enjoying this beautiful colour, which means all sorts of things in different communities, from spiritual peace, which is how I see it in this one. I think that's how I see it in this one, but it has different meanings in different parts of the world and different communities. And you want to offer some of this peace to others. I like how there's a little bit of purple under the saddle, like there's something regal now. You've earned your stripes, and the fish is on his tunic. And a bit seems to be annoying the horse a bit. He's got his mouth open, raring to go. He wants to sort of get off. He's doing that with his head, and yeah, those fish. So yeah, your hope is that you will be able to offer whatever this new amazing perception is, this choice that you've taken to be healed, to be reborn. You want to offer to other people, and where it's all going. I love it. The Ace of Pentacles to the second ace. So you started with an ace and you end with an ace. And this is health. This is something you need to nurture and look after. It could be a pregnancy. It could be great health. It could be anything physical that's coming into the world. And I like it because it's the 9 that is in your past of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles, which is in your potential outcome. And when you add 1 and 0 together, you get 1. And so we're back to the ace. There's this new start, this new beautiful start that's informed somehow by your ancestors in that potential outcome, by your clan. And again, the path. So that path that started with the moon that we weren't sure about how to take, and continued with the... Who did it continue with? Where did I see it? I'm determined to find this. Excuse me, that's strange. Why is it disappearing from my view? It's not in any of those. Not her. Oh, come on, there was another path. Oh yes, in your environment it's continuing here. It's not usually something that you look at particularly in detail. And now it's off it goes through this beautiful bower to these wonderful new vistas that you are going to experience. And that always reminds me of the Secret Garden, some sort of healing space. It's a beautiful children's book that, although it's very old and a bit anachronistic, it is talking about being healed, our perceptions being healed, which is what I think is the journey you're on here. The tall white flowers are very Easter-like, as when I'm recording it, and how realistic this hand is compared to the original cartoon-like hand, which made me think of the jester. Now you're able to be a bit less silly and a bit more yourself because you've gained some sort of traction with this journey. Right, let's do what we normally do. In fact, what we'll do is I've added in these beautiful mystical moment cards that also tarot. Let's get 1 or 2 from these. Queen of Cups. That's lovely to go with your Knight of Cups. Yeah, you're really in love. Look at her looking after this unusual seahorse. It's like you found something rather unusual and unique, and you're really tending to it. And her hair is like octopus tendrils. She's quite a rare beauty, but she's deep in the sea and she's perfectly comfortable in her emotions now, rather than all that upset of the moon and the devil. Now you're in your environment, so your hopes and fears are coming true. It's lovely. I'm going to leave it at that because we've got lots to get through. And then I think we'll do, in terms of that pack, which I love, and then we'll do what we always do, which is an Enchanted Forest tarot card. 8 of Boons. Oh, I like that. Who's she? Let's have a look. It's kind of this very maternal energy that's turning up with the Queen of Cups, the 8 of Boons. She looks like a lovely, nurturing type of character. There's a nest in the background. 8 of Boons. Right. Here we go. So, the task of magically, just at a glance, it says mastering a craft. So this is your 8 of Pentacles again. I haven't got that here, no. Mastering a bit before the 9. So you've now got the 8, 9 and 10 of Pentacles. Mastering a craft, meticulous work, increasing excellence, passionate pursuits are their own reward. The tiny bird is a gold crest. That's up in the background there. It's very happy to have golden threads to weave into its nest. The task of magically spinning nettles into gold was daunting at first, all stings and tangles, working against all sense to make something precious out of something so ordinary. Patiently moving, at the speed of learning, she threaded her spindles, running the fibres through her sensitive fingers as she spun. In time she could see the progress of her skill, a snarled and fuzzy spindle where a gleam of gold was faintly seen. She's intent upon her task, and her confidence grows with each filled spindle. It takes time to become an adept, and magical skills are no easier to master than mundane ones. Practice leads to improvement, but dedication leads to excellence. Whatever your work is in the world, do it to the very best of your ability, and then some. Push past your comfort zone, but don't lose sight of the moment. In striving towards an outcome, the learning process itself brings its own delights. It's you sort of spinning. It's like the nettles represent those hard, moony, devilly things that you had to go through, and you've spun something golden out of them. This is amazing. I love it. Right, let's have one from yes, and that she was hanging around the wise woman at the bottom of this pack. So she is, I'm going to put her with all our other lovely wise women that are here to help you. She's the high priestess, and she's using her intuition, which I guess you have through the moon. And here we have knowledge and life, one of the special cards that comes. So this again is a tarot deck, but Rachel Pollock made 4 special cards, and I don't think I've ever read this one that go with it. It's very short. Let's have a look. Knowledge and life. That's exciting. So this card symbolises fire, the suit of trees. So this is our Queen of Wands a bit. This card symbolises the fire of existence and the complex relationship between knowledge, experience, and life energy. In the Garden of Eden, we read in Genesis that there were 2 trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So we've got those trees in the lovers, okay? But Adam and Eve do not seem to know that the tree of life until they have eaten from the tree of knowledge. Thus we might say that in paradise life was hidden inside knowledge. Life was hidden inside knowledge. Again, it's like those hidden colours. Suddenly, as we learn about our plight through probably quite difficult things, we suddenly perceive more. And then we can see that nettles might be gold, and there are more colours, and there's a blue, and all that kind of thing. So life hidden inside knowledge. But now, in our outer state, we look at the Kabbalistic diagram of the tree of life and discover a hidden sephira called knowledge. Thus, in our existence as exiles from our true home, knowledge is hidden inside life. So initially life was hidden inside knowledge. And now, because we're exiles from this Eden, knowledge is hidden inside life. This is the journey you've been on. This card, therefore, is about the power of our experiences and what we learned from them. Wow, that's exactly what we're describing. I love this. And look, you've got the 2 trees here. How do I show you the 2 trees behind? I love this. This is so beautiful. So you've learned something through this journey that you can now offer to other people. Let's get a Lalua. No, I tell you what, in the bottom of that deck, of that other bag, I've got some charms. Let's pull you a charm. Let's see what comes up too. The rabbit and the moon. I love it. Okay, so it's saying fertility through the rabbit or the hare. You know, hare is sort of magical wisdom, rabbit is fertility through the moon. Well, we know in the recent past you had all that moon. So this is the experience that you've been through that's led to this kind of incredible knowledge of life, that you're in charge and you're starting this new start. I love it, and it's fertile and it's beautiful. I'm going to put those back in, otherwise I'll lose them. Right, let's get a Lalua. We're nearly through it. I brought all of these to Italy with me, so I'm determined to use them. What have we got? 5 of Cups to the Sun, and what's here? And the Knight of Cups, who was almost landing on the Knight of Cups. He threw himself towards his counterpart here. So that's beautiful. So it's saying you've gone from the 5 of Cups, which is this overwhelming emotion in this one here. I wonder whether I bought the book. No, I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. I'd like to see what they say about it, because we know you were feeling a bit miserable to start with the 5 of Cups. Let's see how they talk about the 5 of Cups, because we obviously know what our version is. Lord of loss and pleasure, Mars and Scorpio. Disappointment, regret, grief, sorrow, suffering, guilt and loss. So the 5 of Cups is when you're in the Rider-Waite, is when you're focused on the 3 spilt and not looking at the 2 behind. Here, someone stands precariously close to a raging waterfall with hands over their heart and tears welling up. The person is suffering feelings of grief and loss. They seem to glow in the night, almost ghost-like, perhaps under moonlight, like the moon. This is you feeling loss in the recent past. In tarot, 5s are about difficulty and change, and the cups bring in issues of the heart and emotional realm. 5 of Cups obviously shows suffering and grief over a loss of some sort. It can also refer to regret and disappointment for one's past actions and relationships. With the 5, we're faced with change, and with it an opportunity for renewal. Eventually one has to stop fixating over past decisions and, if necessary, take responsibility for them and move on. As you do that, okay, we get to the Sun. That's so like, the sun behind the Lovers and the Sun and the Fool. Oh, you're moving into such a beautiful manner. And also there's a lot of the Sun in her and your potential outcome, because she has her beautiful sunflowers as well. And the Sun and the Lovers behind him. So you're moving into this beautiful optimistic phase. Because we read the other one, I'll read the way they describe the Sun in this. It's quite fun to hear the different definitions. Lord of fire in the world. Well, we've got your fire coming in. Joy, revitalization, creativity, freedom, luck, life force, enlightenment, success, shining your light, abundance, childlike enthusiasm. A woman plays tambourine in a garden, like your 9 of Pentacles that you were trying to get to. The sun is shining brightly, warming her skin and illuminating her being. The sunflowers seem to dance to her rhythm. She's buoyed with life force from the sun. It feeds her spirit. This card is about shining your light brightly with enthusiasm. The sun card is an embodiment of life's abundant energy source. The sun revitalizes the earth, and in this card, one inner child who longs to come out and play in the light. And in this card, one's inner child who longs to come out and play in the light. The sun is about life, living life with more wonder and awe, awakening to one's creative freedom, seeing possibilities again. And the way that we get there is through the Knight of Cups, which is with your hopes and dreams. So we already had him in your hopes and dreams. Let's see this one. So this is interesting. He seems somehow key to get you from one state to the other. Let's see. Be interesting to see how they describe him here. Knight of Cups. Coins, swords, cups. There we go, knight. I see him. The Prince of the Chariot of the Waters, Prince of Nymphs and Undines, Heir of Water. Romantic, charming, idealistic, artistic, poetic, sensitive, refined, introspective. In a sun-dappled meadow, the Knight of Cups sits in repose, holding a flower in his right hand, the hand of giving and action. Next to him is a large basin filled with water. He wears a crown of flowers, symbolising idealism, poeticism, and romance. This knight is a lover, for he is one who shares his heart, a romantic idealist. A knight of water, he is sensitive, in touch with his emotions, and responds with feelings over reason. Knights are always on a mission, and this one is on a quest for love and spirit connection. If this card appears, the spirit of love and romance is coming into your life, either via a person or through an art project. So this might be how you're getting to this amazing, abundant, maybe somebody comes in that you love, or maybe you start an art project. I don't know. It's a great, whatever's happening, Virgo. Oh, Virgo and I want to say ladder people because there's a ladder that I've been looking at. I should have announced that at the beginning. Let's have one of these oracles and then we'll get a couple more and then we'll close it out. Wow, a long way home. That's amazing, isn't it? I like that. That's reminding me of, I was talking this morning in one of the readings about sort of or yesterday, or maybe, I can't remember, they all blur, about letting your balloons of desires free. Once you've sort of focused on, oh no, I was writing about it. I've got this manifestation for love technique, and I might put it into a tiny little book because it's worked for so many people, including me. And so I thought I might make a little ebook, and I'm in a tiny little ebook because there's not that much to it, but it's good. It's work. So I was writing about that idea of letting go of your balloons of desire so you don't strangle them. So a long way home, journey, remembrance, experience, passage. Look at the little elephant on his journey through the skies. Oh, sweet. Oh, it's funny, we were watching something about elephants in Borneo today. All the creatures in Borneo are teeny tiny, apart from the orangutans, which are normal size, but everything else, rhinoceroses, elephants, little bears that climb trees. So it's sweet, little elephants. He lives in a huge balloon and has a castle with him. Oh, someone's being called for dinner. And has a castle with him. Lights guide the way through while he slowly passes over the horizon. How long is his journey and when will it end? Will he drop anchor again or continue his travels? This card reflects how we pass through our lives. During our pilgrimage, we collect memories strong enough to fill a castle and light enough to buoy our voyage. These are all the experiences that you're having, and you're on the move, I think. That's what it's talking about. You know, this is your environment, the Two of Wands, saying, come on, where are we going to go to next? You know, you've learnt enough now, and you will put down anchor, but at the moment you're looking for new territories in this new abundant place. Right, let's go for our 3 lots of very quick oracles, these, and then we'll close it out. I haven't got the small tarot. We don't need much more comment. They're just so beautiful. That was from another pack. I love your reading. It's like a real rebirth reading for Easter. Offerings. So maybe this is Stonehenge, which is a place I'm particularly connected to. I go there on solstices and equinoxes often, and it's a place of the ancestors. And interestingly, my boyfriend and I have just been into the little village, and we stopped off at the Etruscan burial mounds. There's one very near us, and then there's a set that were obviously for very important people. So a similar thing to what was happening at Stonehenge. I think it was about the ancestors, Stonehenge. It was about bringing the dead's ashes, because we found a few people buried, but because there's no, like I've done it, but because there's no remains of like living, it was obviously a ceremonial place related to the skies, the solstices, but I think, and the equinoxes, but I think it was to do with revering the dead. And we've just been to these Etruscan caves, which there's one which has got 8 different chambers down a little corridor. So you go into the earth, into the rock, and then 8 little rooms, 4 on each side, with a bench that goes round, where they would have put offerings like pots to their dead. And there was one right at the end which had a door, and originally they can see, and sort of things carved around the top, and that would have been for the king. It seems like they found a crown there. So maybe there is a sense in honouring your ancestors with this offerings. Maybe they're helping you out in this transformation and you want to connect to their spirits. Or just give offerings of gratitude for all this beautiful change that's happening in your life. Oh, the dog. It makes me think of my dog who's in spirit. Maybe you've also got a dog in spirit. Loyalty, sincerity, unconditional love. So maybe as I was talking to the ancestors, well, I certainly have a little altar to my dog who passed last year, and maybe you have a companion like that you lost. I'm very sorry, it's heartbreaking. But also that says that whichever ancestors, human or animal, they are loyal to you, and we can see that they turn up in your potential outcome, getting you, oh, I'm getting something so loud in my ear, they're definitely here. So they are part of your rebirth. Your clan and your ancestors are part of your rebirth, what you've learnt through them. And one final oracle. Quite like doing the readings here. I mean, it's It doesn't give me the view out. That's the only trouble. But for this time of day, oh, generosity and growth. Look at those. So the generosity of this knowledge tree, you know, you're suddenly connected to understanding life through all your experiences. The tree of knowledge. I was talking earlier on today about shamanic journeying up and down the tree, which we would meet spirits and ancestors doing that as well. And then the toadstool, is it the toadstools? Yeah, growth. Growth coming from the deep underground, a bit like those Etruscan caves. I mean, it was really atmospheric when you got right in. I walked right to the end, pitch dark. I put the torch on my phone. But the air was thick with, you know, that feeling of being underground and all the intent of people that have gone there and prayed for their dead. Maybe the spirits of the dead. So coming from this period of growth, right from the underneath, from the loam, from the mycelium, from all your hard experiences, is growth. And we know that's true. What can I see here? Yeah, she's transforming and she looks so happy. I quite like her. She could be in a Etruscan cave, couldn't she? Look around her. And she's tattooed and she's got the butterfly of change. She could be having quite a trippy time. But she's utterly peaceful. And the colours work so well with this tree, with its red. It could be a maple or something. And again, we've got a couple of little stones in the background to remind us of the generosity of our ancestors, of these shamanic realms, of the nature that surrounds us. Wow, what a reading. It couldn't be nicer. Whenever you're finding this, I hope you really take on board what an amazing moment of change this is for you. It's so hopeful. I know you've been through some tough times, but your energy is one that's really maturing and turning into something really beautiful, and it's just lovely. And there's all these maternal figures of love turning up, like the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess, and who else did we have? Yeah, we had Queen of Cups, and then also that Eight of Boons with that woman weaving gold. I think it's a time of great abundance and great support from the ancestors. So that's very, very beautiful. And you are ultimately being recognised as successful in riding back into the village, having sort of conquered all of these things. And so now, off you go again. Head up. Subversive maybe, but ready for a new adventure. Thanks, Virgo and ladder people. That was amazing. See you again.